Hi, and welcome, or welcome back if you've been here before. I am really bad at putting out content, so bad that I'm losing my headset between videos. But I got it today. So, um, my last video, I was talking about pyrrole orange, and I was buying up pyrrole orange from different places. And it all stems from my Van Gogh collection. I don't remember what came first, the tube of pyrrole orange or the half pan of pyrrole orange. This is the vibrant set. It is here, vibrant colors set. That one, PO723. And yeah, so a tube and a half pan, that's quite a lot of paint. Um, and I have to say, I haven't been super impressed with this orange color. In the mass tone, it's not too bad. It is a reddish orange, but as you thin it out with water, it it becomes some kind of a nondescript whatever color. It's not quite a pink. It's also not quite an orange. Um, it's something. And sometimes it makes some. It has a tendency to sometimes also when you mix it with something, sometimes it tends to settle out a little bit. So I was like, what am I gonna use it for? I don't use a whole, or did not used to use a whole lot of secondary colors anyways. I would usually buy primaries and then mix my secondaries myself. But hey, I got some. I got this set. So I thought, well, let's at least try and maybe mix it with something blue to make a decent gray, because that's something you could use an orange for, right? So there we got our orange. The blue, that is the closest to it, in here is Ultramarine Deep. It's the PB29, as we all kind of tend to know. So it is like that. And they should be somewhat contrasting colors and should make a gray or a black or a brown. So let's try and mix them together. Okay, that's purple. And yeah, okay, well, let's add some more of the orange then. Well, it never goes really gray. It is different shades of or something that is not quite orange is also not purple, but it's definitely not gray. So no grays here in this mixture. Okay. Oh well, the explanation for this is quite straightforward. It is just simply that orange is too red and not contrasting enough with the reddish blue or the warm blue. Okay, so try another mixture. Here next to it, I got turquoise blue, and that is PB17, which is a phthalo bluish turquoise, and then there's PG7, which is a phthalo green. So here's the turquoise. That is quite green. I mean, there's green mixed into it. So now we ought to get a black or a gray. That's actually still kind of purple. It is more gray than that one, but it goes from just a brown, purplish brown into, and the more turquoise we mix into it, it looks more like a Payne's gray, to be quite honest, and then we move into something more turquoise. So we can get the closest thing is a brown. That's a start. Um, but it has this tendency to want to lean into um, either a brown or a purple. Okay, not bad. It's some interesting colors that I get out of it. We have some reflections, and that will show up as it dries. Um, for now, trust me. Okay, well, we're getting in the right direction. So let's. We got Viridian, which is the most blue-green that there is. So let's just move into green, because green is also complementary to red, so might be getting it. So here's it's called Viridian, but it's phthalo green blue shade. Yeah, so we get a darker green first, and we get a little bit more of a grayish green, but kind of an olive type green. That's the closest to a gray we got. But it leans green. And from green it goes into brown. Golden brown, reddish brown. So I won't say it ain't doing the right things. It is just that it's not like a. I hope that I could hit maybe a neutral gray somewhere. But and the Viridian is the one that is the closest to being able to do that. But I actually get some really nice dark greens and grayish greens, some very natural looking greens. There's lots of oranges that with green or greens leaning blues makes olive greens. So, but yeah, this one likes to go from green to brown. So that was kind of the type of game I was playing with this pyrrole orange, and I'm thinking I want to make something just with two colors, a two-color limited palette, because it's going from like whatever the orange is into the color I mix it with. And I can tell you, I tried it with all the blues in here, from the turquoise all the way to the ultramarine, and I ended up making a two-color palette, a very limited palette, with here's the pyrrole orange, and it's a little dirty because the other color in here is phthalo blue. It's over here. I'll rinse my brush and show you. So there's the phthalo blue. And it makes this really interesting range of purples and a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty much orange and purple and blue, depending on how you mix it. And I have had a lot of fun painting just with this palette, because there's no ugly mud anywhere in the mixture range, unless you don't like that gray purple. They thin out nicely, all of them, to do some light washes. I still don't appreciate the light wash of the orange by itself all that much. but then you just mix in a little bit of the blue, and then you get like a purplish pink. So it goes from nearly black to some really nice washes. And I've been trying a lot of mixes with this, and they are actually, it's actually a great mixing color, and that's what I think we sometimes forget when we pick colors for our palettes, that sometimes it might not be the color that you like the most on its own that turns out to be interesting. Here is more of a yellowish green, it's a mid-green type, but it's way more yellow than the Viridian green. And see, this one goes into an olive brown really quickly. So sometimes you need to see colors for not only what they look like on their own, but also what can they help you do in your palette. And if you mix it with purple, look, it gets a really bright pink purple. This is quinacridone purple blue. I'm mixing it with. I mean, that's a great mixture. Makes you a very deep red to some bright purples. And this is it's actually quite funny, because this is exactly why I keep, for the same reason, I keep something like burnt umber on my palette. There's lots of people go, ooh, burnt umber. No, not burnt umber, raw umber even. Raw umber, it's horrible. It looks like something a sick dog left. But I am not sure. Well, that's not it. Wrong palette. Well, it's a burn number, but I think it can be used anyways. So that is a burn number here, but it actually looks like a raw umber in some other brands. It's not too bad. This is a lot reddish. But look, if you mix that with a greenish blue, like the cerulean blue leans a little green, you get this. Some people have called it a faux green because you haven't mixed it with yellow, but there's some yellow undertone in umber. It looks like oxidized copper. I mean, I would make, if I had to paint a church, I would pick this mixture. If it was a church with an aged copper roof, this is what to do. Go. Now, a raw umber will usually be a little more yellow, so I'll add a little bit of yellow ochre in here. We get closer. And these are the raw and burned umber is really good also to make mossy type of greens and stuff. So even though if you don't like the umber by itself, it has some really interesting potentials to make some natural looking greens, depending on what you mix them with. You can also try, here's a Prussian blue. It's ticking because look at that. That's like a really nice gray green. for anything corroded and old. And it's a quick mix too, because sometimes you will also you don't want to sit and mix 7 colors to get to where you need to be. If you have a range of things you paint and you know kind of what colors you like to use, if you can't get the exact color you want the shortest shortcut. It's the easiest mixing way to get to where you want to be. I mean, these are good landscape kind of colors. You can have like some kind of ground, and with it, if you have a turquoise, you also got like some water right there. So yeah, that's how a color I didn't like ended up into a. I've been exploring other pyrrole oranges. I have this one here, and I watched a video, and I'll see if I can find the video and link to it. A limited palette video, and I can't, of course, even remember the artist's name, which is embarrassing. But she used a core pyrrole orange, the transparent pyrrole orange, and a variety of Prussian blue and the blue from Winsor Newton. And she was talking about that her pyrrole orange actually leaned more green in that mixture. Also didn't quite get the blacks and the grays she expected, but managed to make an amazing painting nonetheless. And so I had that, we've got the blue, and yeah, now I've got 7 different pyrrole oranges. And I'll get into them and talk about them. But yeah, if you have any ugly colors, try and mix them with something else and see if you can get something you desire from it. Because mixed colors is interesting. It is way more fun to have an area that looks something like that than just a flat green, in my opinion. It adds visual interest to things. I mean, something that is a blend of colors is way more interesting. So yeah, that was my pyrrole orange video for now. And thank you all for watching, and I'll be back. I got some ideas, and I started to write them down, and I need to make a plan. And I'll try and keep the plan. So, but I'll be back because I have some swatches and stuff to show you guys. This was just a video I needed to get going. Happy New Year's to everybody, and I'll see you.